U.S. President Donald Trump is expanding a travel ban to 5 more countries and imposing new limits on others. From January, citizens of Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, South Sudan, and Syria will be banned from entering the U.S. They join 12 other countries that have been deemed high risk, including Afghanistan, Sudan, and Yemen. The Trump administration has also imposed full restrictions on people with travel documents issued by the Palestinian Authority. Rosiland Jordan has been following the latest developments from Washington, D.C., and she joins us now live. Roz, has the Trump administration explained why it's expanding this ban to include these countries?
Well, the U.S. has argued that it has an obligation to protect its citizens from the threat of terrorism, of criminals, of other people who might want to do Americans harm. And so they say one of the most effective ways, in their view, to do this is to heavily scrutinize the visa applications of people who want to come to the United States, whether it's to work, whether it's to study, whether it's just to come play tourist. But they say that too many countries, in the U.S.'s view, or rather the Trump administration's view, do not have the same standards even for establishing basic identity documents for their citizens. And that makes it difficult for U.S. consular officials to figure out who would be acceptable to come to the U.S., who should get a visa. And so essentially what the U.S. is doing is punishing these countries by not allowing their citizens to come to the U.S. at all, because if these countries, in the U.S.'s view, can't document who their own people are, why should the U.S. let these people come into their country? That's the basic argument.
And Roz, as we mentioned before, Syria is on this list. It was just last month that you had the Syrian President Ahmed al-Sharaa visiting the White House. Donald Trump heaped praise on the president of Syria. Is the inclusion of Syria unusual, considering the new ties with Syria's new government?
At first blush, it does look unusual, but if anything, it does show a level of consistency with the Trump administration in saying that because of the more than 12 years of civil war happening in Syria, basically all government institutions broke down, including the ability to issue birth documents, to issue travel documents, to establish a passport that can surpass international muster at border crossings around the world. And so the U.S. is saying that Syrian citizens, because they don't have documents that meet these standards, for the time being cannot come to the United States. But it is worth pointing out that the U.S., not just in the case of Syria, but in the case of other countries as well, although it's not clear that this includes the Palestinian Authority, which is also affected by this new expansion on the travel restrictions. The U.S. is supposed to be working with these countries to improve their systems, the way they document births, the way they handle identity documents, the way they issue passports, the way that they process all of the information that could help U.S. consular officials vet people applying for visas to come here. There's no point, in the U.S.'s view, to ban countries' citizens from coming to the U.S. unless they're trying to help these countries do a better job of verifying who their own citizens are in the first place.
All right, that's Al Jazeera's Rosiland Jordan, live for us in Washington, D.C. Roz, thanks so much for breaking that all down for us.
Don't miss out. Get the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news, expert insight. Like, share, stay ahead.